Your character on the page and your character in the show are pretty different, and we love what you and the writers have brought to Liandrin's character. And we were wondering, what did you know about her before you started filming her? Like, did you know her whole arc already, or are you learning season by season with us?
I didn't know anything, and I sort of know her arc, her book arc,
Okay.
um, a bit. But I don't try. I don't need to know all of it right now in order to play the now. I mean, it's just a sort of, it's a basic acting, thing. Don't play Act Five while you're in Act One, So I live and breathe from moment to moment. And at the beginning of every season, the writers will sit each of us down, we'll have a cup of tea and talk through the arc of that season. So I don't want to know too far ahead, no. But
Okay.
but it's very much the here and now when you're acting.
Awesome. So the props and the costumes on the show are fantastic. And we were wondering which prop or costume do you wish you could sneak home with you? And it doesn't have to be one of Leandrin's.
Oh, well, I would always want to take a ring home, but we're not
Mm.
allowed.
Oh, a shame.
Um, but or I did steal some chopsticks from Tanchico.
I think that's a valid. I would too. So we know that some of the cast pay attention to what the fandom has to say about the show and about characters on social media. Do you have any favorite comments or reactions you've seen to your work that fans have?
Oh, I mean, no, I can't go, no, I can't get into it. I mean, sometimes they're a bit mean, but I try not to look. I just try not to look. I just hope that the show's landing. And but obviously she's a really strong flavor, Leandrin. So some people really love her
Mhm.
and some people really don't. And I don't think it's personal. So they respond to the character. So that's, I accept that. I often play naughty, difficult people. So, but I'm drawn to those characters, because that's where
Mhm.
the friction is and the conflict and I like playing characters with a double mask, that
Mhm.
you think one thing, but and then something else happens, or like you go, oh, actually, she is really, oh God,
Right.
that's always looking for that sort of tension to play in every character I play.
Well, I have a friend who just rated his top five characters and had Leandrin in the top five and did not have Randall Thor. So I think that's testament to your portrayal of her.
Well, I'm very lucky. And I'm also, well, she's a good character for the story, though, isn't she? I mean,
Mhm.
I hope fans recognize that she can move, as an antagonist, she can move the story on. It may not
Mhm.
be, you know, she can move things because of her motivations. And so that's really helpful for us for a narrative storytelling when you're putting something on the television. You need characters that can like take you and bring the characters to another thing where something happens to them. So I'm a kind of useful character.
Well, you definitely start things off right away in episode one for sure. Um, so you've portrayed a variety of roles, some virtuous like Desdemona and Juliet, and some more villainous like Cruella de Vil and Leandrin. So,
Mm.
do you take any inspiration from other famous villains, Shakespearean or otherwise, when you portray
Well,
Leandrin?
interesting you say that Juliet is virtuous. I mean, she is virtuous. But if you look at the language that she uses, she's actually a bit of a goth. And
Mhm.
I always felt, because I've played Lady M, and I always felt that the language, because I played Juliet when I was a very young actress, and then I played Lady M when I was a bit older, and I found them really similar. Shakespeare had given these really, really, she talks about charnel houses and bones and dying, and it's really dark. So when I was playing Lady M, I was like, these words really remind me of Juliet,
Mhm.
like come you
Interesting.
tender mortal thoughts, unsex me here and all of that. That there's this sort of dark gothic quality. And I guess one can learn from that is to don't judge a book by its cover, is that
Mhm.
every character you play will have that yin and yang and that dark and light. And that so everybody thinks that Leandrin's this thing or, Elaine is this thing. And it's not, we're not the thing.
Right.
We're not that thing. And I always say that to young actors actually when they talk about auditions and It's like you can't be everything you are in one go, you know. Just be who you are that in that moment. And if that's what they're looking for, that's what they're looking for. But as characters are just the same, it's you can't, you're not one thing all the time.
Right.